Hey, what's up gamers? You have TigerChainsaw here. I want to be transparent with all of you before I begin this review about my feelings on superheroes. For me, I have never been a comic book reader. I have never watched any Marvel TV shows, whether they're old or new, and I've only seen one Marvel movie, and that was 2008's Iron Man. I really haven't seen another one since then. And I'm just not really a fan of superheroes. I don't have anything against them. I just only have so much time to dedicate to my hobbies, and I never really got into the superhero scene or the comic book scene, and so I don't really know too much about it. But that being said, I know an amazing video game when I see one. And so I was interested in playing Marvel's Spider-Man from 2018, and I decided to review it because it's not typically a game that I would play. I don't typically play superhero games, but Marvel's Spider-Man kind of hooked me, and I want to share my feelings on it. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, or if you just haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button to watch plenty of video game reviews that I've already done and plenty that are on the way. All right, let's sling into action with our favorite webhead for this Marvel's Spider-Man review. Superheroes have become mainstream since the mid-2000s. Spider-Man helped bring them to the next level and made it cool to watch superhero films and play Marvel and DC video games. While I just said I'm not a huge fan of superheroes, I know an amazing game when I see one. And while I'm not a huge superhero fan, I'm always intrigued by video games that come out, and if I see one that I want to play, I'll play it. And that was the case in 2018 when Insomniac Games teamed up with Sony Interactive Entertainment to produce Marvel's Spider-Man. Let's get our spider senses tingling, starting with the plot. But be warned, spoilers are ahead. I'm sure there's hundreds of Spider-Man stories and timelines, but this particular version takes place after Spider-Man has been established as a superhero. Peter Parker is a 23-year-old assistant struggling to balance his life as a superhero and lab assistant and maintaining a relationship with his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Mary Jane. To start the game, Spider-Man has recently put away Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. A gang that wears ancient Chinese masks calling themselves the Demons have been breaking into Fisk's properties and stealing his assets in the hopes of finding something called Devil's Breath. Spider-Man teams up with Mary Jane, who is a crime reporter, and Officer Jefferson Davis, who helps fight off a demon attack. Officer Davis is recognized by his peers at a city event for his heroic work, but the demons unleash a deadly attack that kills him and other bystanders. Now, there are so many subplots unfolding during the events of the main plot. Peter has discovered that the president of the shelter where his Aunt May works is the leader of the demon gang called Mr. Negative. Norman Osborn has become the mayor and hires a professional mercenary police force to help fight the demons and uprising crime throughout the city. The force, called Sable International, is not fond of Spider-Man, to say the least. Meanwhile, Peter continues to work with his mentor and boss, Dr. Otto Octavius, on a few formulas and scientific breakthroughs in artificial limbs. Unfortunately for them, their lab funds are dwindling, and Dr. Octavius has been suffering from a crippling disease that has taken away his mobility. It's revealed that Devil's Breath is a chemical bioweapon accidentally created by Oscorp when they were developing cures for diseases. Mr. Negative and the demons obtain the only sample and threaten to release it across the city unless Osborn surrenders. Spider-Man intervenes with their plan and captures Mr. Negative, imprisoning him. Throughout the story, you continue to watch Dr. Octavius become more desperate to develop artificial limbs as his body's mobility worsens. It's a great arc to watch as he goes from a brilliant scientist and friend to Peter to a desperate man willing to sacrifice anyone and anything in order to advance his research. I understand why he does it, and I think these types of villains are more relatable, with the writers making them more and more human. I loved seeing him slowly become more and more unstable. My favorite video games are able to pull me in with their storytelling from start to finish, and Spider-Man was doing just that. Anyway, Dr. Octavius has been experimenting on himself in private with the mechanical limbs, but they are increasingly altering his moods and personality. He eventually breaks mentally and helps start a prison riot, freeing Mr. Negative, Vulture, Scorpion, Rhino, and Electro. Dr. Octavius fully embraces his alter ego, and Dr. Octopus is born as he now attaches his body with robotic limbs that can carry his frail body around and react to his thoughts 100 times quicker than normal limbs. Dr. Octopus unleashes the Devil's Breath in Times Square, infecting thousands, including Aunt May. Mayor Osborn declares martial law and shifts all the blame onto Spider-Man for letting these circumstances happen. Meanwhile, Spider-Man has to defeat and recapture the escaped villains one by one who are causing chaos all around the city. Spider-Man defeats Mr. Negative, who had the only known antidote for the Dragon's Breath, and takes it from him. Dr. Octopus steps in and beats the hell out of Spider-Man, stealing the antidote in the process. Brutally wounded, Spider-Man builds an armored suit with the technology that he and Dr. Octavius created. With his new suit, Spider-Man defeats Dr. Octopus, who reveals that he knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker all along. Peter returns to Aunt May, who has been hospitalized ever since the attack. He has the opportunity to save Aunt May, or he can use the antidote to create a vaccine to save thousands of lives. In a very touching scene, Aunt May reveals that she knew that Peter was Spider-Man before she quietly passes away. This was simply an amazing plot and writing. This entire journey of Marvel's Spider-Man was cleverly well written. It had me hooked from start to finish. It was so well done, and I loved seeing all the different character arcs. I loved seeing the characters come together, and it was very relatable seeing all of their human sides, whether it was Peter as Spider-Man or all the villains who had fallen along the way. Marvel's Spider-Man was one of the best written games that I've ever played. When you play this game, you truly feel like Spider-Man as you swing between buildings, sprint through streets and alleys, and interact with citizens. The world is so reactive to your style of play, it's fascinating to watch everyone point or talk to Spider-Man as he passes by. The controls for web slinging, whether you're traveling or attacking, are phenomenal. They're smooth and they're fluid. I had no issues taking out 20 enemies at once or zooming around from building to building and getting to my next destination. The controls are top notch. Combat is also extremely satisfying as you continue to grow numerous powers and web enhancements. Similar to the Batman Arkham games, you'll be able to take out 10 or 20 thugs in just a few moves. Each boss fight is clever, and it was fun to fight against some of the most famous Spider-Man villains throughout the years. The final battle against Dr. Octopus was epic, and the atmosphere of that battle did not go unnoticed as former friends and colleagues went at it. I've reviewed a ton of games throughout the year, and this was one of my most favorite boss fights. The entire fight, I was on the edge of my seat, not only trying to beat Dr. Octopus, but eager to see what was next. The entire city is open to exploration, and there's plenty to explore. You'll find numerous side quests and objects. Normally, I don't really look to complete all of these tasks in a game, but it was just so satisfying and fun to explore the city that I completed every single one of those bonus objectives. Completing them unlocks new suits for Spider-Man that grant him new powers and bonus attributes. You can change the suits whenever you please to test out the new powers. I feel like this really added a ton to the game. It's easy to find games where you can tell the developers put thought and love into making a game. These small but welcomed features really made Marvel's Spider-Man special. I could not envision a better superhero game if I tried. Marvel's Spider-Man offers everything you could want with a fantastic story, exceptional battle mechanics, beautiful graphics, and attention to detail. I spent just as much time slinging around the city for fun as I did playing the main story. The voice acting was superb to go along with the writing. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran Spider-Man fan or a newcomer like myself. This is a game that presents an enjoyable story and experience for everyone. Now, if I do have one small complaint, it's that what happened to Mary Jane? All I've heard about her is how hot and beautiful she is, but did they tone down her looks in this game? It kind of felt like that. As I mentioned in my opening, I'm not a fan of Marvel. I'm not a fan of superheroes. I don't really know too much about them, but I know a good video game when I play it, and Marvel's Spider-Man soars far above that benchmark. It has an epic story, tremendous boss fights, a city full of life, whether you swing on the rooftops or run through the streets, and a world packed full of secrets. Marvel's Spider-Man rises above every other superhero game and swings to the top of the pedestal in which every developer and publisher of superhero games should strive for. Marvel's Spider-Man scores a 9.7 out of 10, making this game a masterpiece. I highly encourage any PlayStation fans or superhero fans to play this game. This is one epic superhero game. So that was my review of Marvel's Spider-Man that was released in 2018. I simply could not put this game down. I loved it, and it made me appreciate superheroes so much more than I previously did. Now, I have had some good luck with Spider-Man games. I adore the Spider-Man game on the PS1, and I know this isn't Marvel, but I do like the Batman Arkham trilogy on the PS3s. Those are all really great superhero games, but I've never really experienced any others. So I'm wondering, should I? Drop me a comment below with your favorite superhero game, and maybe I'll play it. But I also want to hear about your thoughts on Marvel's Spider-Man. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? I would appreciate a like and a subscribe while you're in the comments. You know the drill. Thanks for watching, happy gaming, and make sure you play a video game today.